Welcome to sunny Clydebank, Scotland. Behind me there is a Titan crane, which is a massive series of, one of a massive series, I think 7 cranes were in the shipyards up and down the River Clyde. And this one is all that's left of John Brown Shipyard here in Clydebank. In this shipyard, I spent 6 years of my youth from the age of 16 to 22, and I worked on many ships during their construction and design. And some of the more famous ships that have been here are the Cunard liners, Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth, and the QE2, which was the last Cunard liner ever to be built on the Clyde. And there were many more Cunard liners built here, Aquitania, etc., etc. Plus, John Brown Shipyard is famous for designing and building Royal Naval vessels of all shapes and sizes, including HMS Hood, which was sunk by the Bismarck on its first confrontation with the German Navy, and the Duke of York, etc. The Vanguard, which was the last real kind of battle cruiser built for the Royal Navy. And you know, there's the basin where the ships would sit during the time that they were being finished off with the interior and the electronics and the engine, etc., etc. And during the last World War, it could be packed with Royal Naval vessels under various stages of construction, and the Luftwaffe would come up the river and bomb this place. And in fact, behind me up in the hills, or beyond the crane, is the town of Clydebank, which was blitzed nearly out of existence in one of those bombing runs by the Luftwaffe. Plus, the local people would go up into the Campsie Hills and set fires up there to distract the German aircraft. And they'd think, oh, that's where the bombs have already been dropped, and they would head up there. And there's still some bomb craters up on the hills there that you can go and investigate if you were so inclined. Anyway, it's a rather chilly day here, but you know, this site is now occupied by a college, and just over in that direction there is the River Clyde, and that's where all the major large vessels that were built in the west side of the shipyard were launched into, and just straight down the slipway into the River Clyde. And more often than not, there'd be many people standing on the other side of the river there on the farmland, and they would nearly be washed away by the wake that was created by some of these massive ships. I was hoping to get up the crane, but I'm really not sure how to get there now. Everything seems to be cordoned off, private property, but that was supposed to be a museum, and there's a lift there, so I might, if the rain holds off, I might get round there and try and get up and take a view from up there. Down the river is the New Erskine Bridge, and that was built, it's a road bridge, and was built after the QE2 left John Brown Shipyard in 1967-68, if I can remember correctly, and Prince Charles came here that day to board her and sail down the river to set it off in its trials. And across the river there is Glasgow Airport, and there's one of the aircraft coming in to land. So it's beyond its glory days of building ships around here. They eventually ended up building oil rigs for the North Sea and the Far East, and eventually the shipyard was closed because there just wasn't enough business. Anyway, you can see there's still some bollards lining this side of the basin, and I'm sure there's lots of stuff that was thrown off the ships when they were under construction down in the bottom of the basin there. Anyway, I thought this would just be a great piece of history for those interested in shipbuilding in this part of Scotland, and a little bit of my own history, having come here as a young lad of 16 before I left in 1973 to head out to Canada. So it's been a very interesting trip, and I hope you've enjoyed this little tour. See you next time. Bye.